Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building, in friend to the room.
Yes, indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Angela Rye.
Hi, friend.
Good morning, Lady Rye, daughter.
Hi, brother.
How are you?
I am good. I am, making it. You're living in the apocalypse, but
No,
yes.
we not.
Oh, okay.
These are the best of times.
Oh, or the worst of times.
Optimism.
Okay, praise the Lord, everybody.
I'm glad you are here. Your brother has been doing some disrespectful stuff.
What have I been doing?
Crazy.
He has called ICE on me 3 times to try to get me shipped out of this country.
What's the problem?
You did not do that.
What's the problem?
You didn't do that.
I don't see the
do
problem
that.
here.
That's not funny. You didn't do that.
I don't see the problem here.
See?
And
You
then
didn't do
Angela,
that.
he'd be rioting and just talking crap against the Democratic Party every day.
Yeah,
That's
well,
true. That's factual.
That
They
is.
deserve it.
I know that's true, and there are many.
Angela
in the
Rye does it too. Y'all don't listen to Native Land Podcast? He does.
So tell us.
There are many in the Democratic Party who deserve to be trash talked. Not as bad as these Republicans, since they're trying to take us back to 1863.
Well,
but
I can argue that the Dems are the reason we're here, but that's a whole.
you
other...
could argue that, but
Yes.
that would be silly of you, since
Not really.
75 million people voted for this man.
Yes, but why did they do that?
Well, allegedly.
But why did they do that?
What do you mean? Why?
They did that
Because there's some of them are bigots, because some of them are fascists, because some of them are sexist, because some of them are homophobic, because some of them got issues, and some of the others that were disenchanted.
Before we get to that,
Okay.
congratulations on your State of the People tour.
Well, you know what? I would love to take the congratulations, but I got to tell you, the tour was so eye-opening. We're really hurting. Like, as a people, we're really, really hurting. It's something, and I'll say it publicly to you because we talked about it privately. I used to get so mad at Leonard, but for all the reasons, but at Leonard for the times where he was saying to me, I was out of touch. I would get so upset. And I'm like, what are you I spent my whole career like helping to craft legislation for our people, doing jobs, like all of these things. But the truth is, even if you're, out of touch for a week, for 2 weeks, for a month, you can get really out of touch. And you're thinking, I'm helping people because I'm working on behalf of their best interests. But how do you work on behalf of somebody's best interest if you're not in community and talking with them?
I don't know how I feel about you bringing private conversations to the radio.
You do it all the time. What are you talking
Can
about?
nobody tell your
First of
boy
all-
it is
First of
nothing?
all,
Can you not for 2 seconds do
Okay.
what you do?
Okay.
So my point in
for 2
saying
seconds,
this,
not be yourself.
yes, just be quiet. Be quiet for 2 seconds.
Okay, Miss Rye.
But I was gonna say that it was humbling, like to go to a church and meet this woman with 2 young kids, like under 3, who made a determination to come sit with us and get her light bill paid and didn't know if the car would make it to work. She had to get a jump at the church. Another woman who was a teacher in Atlanta who said that she goes to teach our students every day and then goes to sleep in her car at night. There's so many stories like that. We had a woman who volunteered with us in Newark who lives in a Red Roof Inn, and every day she is bringing groceries back home to the seniors who live in that facility, but she's struggling too. So we met these people, we were able to meet their needs, but you all know, like, you go see something like that, you're ready to empty your bank account. You emptying your bank account, maybe y'all's will last a little longer than mine. We talking maybe about 2 or 3 weeks worth of relief,
Yeah.
For these people, we have to have structural systemic change
That's right.
in order for folks to really see a difference. And instead of people working to meet the most basic needs and relieve our folks, they're creating cuts that are going to hurt them even worse. That's going to be on all of us, because what I refuse to do is say, well, we're going to wait until people who are like-minded and more compassionate get in charge. No, that doesn't put food on their table tomorrow. So I've been like, what do we do to solve immediate needs to make sure that our folks know they can always turn to community and be okay? That is the Black way. We always look out for each other, and I don't want to lose sight of that with all of this crazy infighting that's happening.
So that's what the State of the People tour was? Like, what was it for people who don't know?
Yeah, so it was a tour where we focused first on relief. And then we also ensured that we had opportunities to listen to the community. What are you saying? What are you feeling? How are you? How is your life? What can we do to make it better? And then we also emphasized policy by creating a platform for our Black Papers Policy Initiative. Y'all know normally when it's a policy paper, it's called a white paper. We have Black Papers. So Black Papers was more than 700 pages of policy, now 34 papers, everything from healthcare to reparations, to education, early childhood education, everything you could think of. We tried to cover mass incarceration, really ensuring that our folks know that they don't just have a Project 2025 and we're sitting idly by. We have Black experts from all over the country on all of these varying subject matters that can contribute to making your life better. And then finally, we did it in coalition with more than 200 local and national organizations. Black folks like this have not come together since the Bloods and the Crips came together to do that little mixtape back in the 90s. So it was very good. Very, very good.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so what can people do, right? So usually, fast food restaurants back in the day was the way to get cheap food and to feed a family, right? But if you go to any of these fast food restaurants, a meal now is $15, $17. So it's expensive. Groceries are expensive. So you're talking about the lady that was helping to feed, other people in the Red Roof Inn, and she probably couldn't feed herself. So what do you tell people to do at this specific time? What couldn't they do? What can they do? What's the change at? Where's the change come?
I think the change comes from within. And by that, I'm not talking about find your food inside yourself. I'm talking about us, right? Like, we have to change our mentality. We have more than enough. I was waking up, my prayer every morning during the tour was, God, I thank you. We have everything we need. And that is the truth. So if we embody that and we say, okay, I have all of these extra clothes that I don't need. Can I give these away to somebody in need? We have school supplies. I had $20 to give towards a child's school supplies. Like, there are all of the things that we have that we can make use of. And I think that is what's most important. Policy only works when you prioritize the needs of the people, when you're compassionate towards people, regardless of their immigration status, regardless of where they live, regardless of if you agree with them or not. Doing the right thing it's always the right time to do the right thing, to paraphrase Dr. King. And so I think some of that is about what can we do differently. So I would ask people who wanted to join the tour, what do you feel called to do? And asking people to do exactly that. I think that's how we meet our most basic needs. I shouldn't do everything. I'm better at rapid response than long-term planning. I think some of that is undiagnosed ADD. Some of that is just what interests me. So I should be on the rapid response squad, but somebody else should be on now what do we do to build out the long-term solution? So David Johns, who I know you all know has been on Breakfast Club, he ran our Black Papers Policy Initiative. I was like, I know we need to do this. I'm too unfocused to do it, but he had 34 papers done in a month. Wow. Working with some of the best Black experts around. So,
what was the biggest thing you learned from the State of the People Marathon? Like one. If you had to take one takeaway, the marathon or the tour? Well, the tour. I'm sorry, the tour.
So the tour was 12 cities, and then we did a national assembly in Baltimore. I think the most important thing that I learned is that we can do anything when we put our minds to it. When we decide that our unity means more than anything else, we're just unstoppable. We are really unmatched. So I learned that. I learned the importance of listening. I listened a lot more than I talked on that tour. And I think that was abundantly important because I don't know how you change people's circumstances when you don't know what they are. Yeah.
What would you say to people who say, I hear you, Angela Rye, but we've always felt like that. Like where you are now, we've been there.
Well, they said that, so there are two things that came out of the tour too. Some folks were like, well, we've been here. Now y'all care because we're all about to be in the same situation. I was like, you're right. It's sad, but that's true. In so many ways, that's true. Because now more people's health care is going to be cut. So now everybody feels like the folks who are worried about what may happen with Medicaid or Medicare or anything in between. So that is absolutely the truth. Is it right? Absolutely not. But that is the truth. I think some of us, and I'll speak for myself, when you see somebody in need and you know you can't help right away, it's easier for me to try to turn a blind eye. That's not the right thing to do, but I'm like, if I don't know how to fix it, I'm a natural fixer. I'm like, shoot, I can't do anything about it, so I'm going to try to pretend like I'm not here. That's not the right solution. I think the other thing that came up a lot, especially from folks in the South, was, well, y'all worried about Trump, but we've been having people just like him as our governors, local elected officials, and that kind of thing. I would offer to them, and I did on the tour, this key distinction. There was a time where you could go to petition the federal government to protect you in the face of your mini Trump, Ron DeSantis or, Greg Abbott or whoever it is. Now the federal government look just like them, look just like the January 6ers, the insurrectionists. So who do you go petition? Who you gonna ask? Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
No, you're
but
not.
the crazy part is
I do have on a Ghostbuster.
jumpsuit.
It is. It's a jumpsuit. You remember the jumpsuit?
Yeah, I do.
I agree with that, but some people have felt like that about the federal government forever. They've always felt like the federal government is not showing up for them, and I think for so long.
But I think the feeling like it and the factual reality is different.
But if your factual reality has been poverty, and your factual reality is being poor and disenfranchised, regardless of who's in office,
That's true.
why should you ever have any faith in government?
I think that it is a challenging thing to have faith in. And I think that the only way that we can change it, and we've seen this recently, is by applying pressure. Historically, we've seen it by applying pressure, things change. I think it is foolish for us to believe that anybody is always on our side. Like, what you should expect from the federal government is that they need to hear about your issue. Like, let's look at it like this way. Let's say that you live in an apartment building. Mm-hmm. Your apartment building has a property manager and it has a landlord. So let's treat the property manager like it's an elected official, like a member of Congress, and your landlord is the president. If you have a leak in your apartment, you ain't about to be like, well, I hope they figure it out because it's their obligation to figure I pay rent. You're not doing that. You gonna send in the complaint. You gonna knock on the door. You gonna go find them. That's the same way we should treat the feds. Like, they are paid to do a job. We pay them, but we're not going to let them rest until they meet our need. That's the same way we would do. If we would do that about a leaky faucet, how much more if our kids can't eat? How much more if they can't be educated? How much more if they're taking our history out of classrooms? That's a good analogy. I'm going to use that again.
I think people feel like they do complain so much and
nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Like, what if that?
So who are they complaining to?
I'm sure they're complaining to their property managers, their councilmen, their local people. And a lot of times, the local people, I'm sure they feel like don't do anything.
Well, and I think that's what's hard for me. And I'm going to say I exist in this privileged bubble, so y'all burst it if I'm wrong. To me, most often when I tell people to call their member of Congress if something is going wrong, or show up to a council meeting, they're like, how? When is it? Where is it? So if there are those who are complaining often, I think it's a select few. And what happens is, I don't know if y'all have this, you guys all do public appearances. You know that one person that come to every show? Mm-hmm. So that what happens is, for the elected official, they're like, oh, here goes Susie again, and she just gonna be, right? And so they get tuned out. But if Susie and all the 5th grade class comes and all of the seniors come, now it's a different type of an experience. We are a people-powered democracy, at least we should be, and that means more people have to show up. If it's the same 2 or 3, I don't know that it's moving the needle.
You said something, and I think it tends to be a problem.
Okay.
When somebody asks questions, right? When somebody says, I don't know how.
Yeah.
You have these elitist-ass Democrats who call people stupid, and you don't know.
Why are you saying that to me?
Huh?
I don't do that.
I ain't saying you did.
I don't want to defend them.
No, but I'm just saying that is part of the problem. When people ask questions, you'll have these people that get on these high horses and tell them how stupid they are for not knowing these things.
You should know who your lecture. Yeah, you should know when that meeting is. Yeah,
why don't you just teach them?
And that,
Well, I do feel like I think people should know, because I think it's part of our responsibility. I don't think that they should be scolded. Yeah, exactly. I don't think they should be scolded, or we should be scolded when we don't know things, because it's hard already to say I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't think we should make people feel bad, but I do think
some of these people are fat, and I don't say to them, you don't know the gym.
Oh my God.
What is wrong?
How they fat and they're starving?
No, I'm talking about the people that be scolding, the elitist Democrats who be scolding folks. Yes. What do you think about President Obama critiquing Democrats and saying they need to toughen up and take action? Don't it feel like too little, too late? Don't it feel like he should have been saying that?
Okay, I heard that he said this, but what was the context for him saying this? Just period? Just right now?
No, it was at a fundraiser in Jersey. And I guess he was just talking about, what they should be doing in the future.
I guess my issue right now...
Let me get the exact quote.
No,
okay.
It's okay. My issue right now with President Obama and Michelle Obama is they out here doing Tiger Woods documentaries, and they have this show, which I'm not mad at. He actually was on her podcast talking about how young men don't feel seen in this new space, and I think that that's true. However, if you can go on the podcast to talk about how young men don't feel seen, can you also talk about these SNAP cuts? Can you also talk about the Medicare and Medicaid cuts? And I think for me, if you all were saying that we were about to, or this country was about to elect a fascist, why are you not treating fascism as it's just that critical? So I'm confused about why there is an expectation of Democrats or any elected official to do something different when they're doing exactly what you're doing. right? So if you're treating all of this as normal times, we're going to go to Martha's Vineyard and hang out, and nothing is different.
Kiki at the funeral.
Yeah, like they don't know what to do either. So we have these high expectations, and this is also why we started to say to the people of our elected officials, like, okay, you got to meet the moment. You got to meet the moment. You got to meet the moment. Everybody, even if they don't say it out loud, is saying how. How do you meet this particular moment? And this moment is changing massively every single day. So how I meet it is going to continue to change. We're not giving them the grace to figure it out on the fly, but we're giving ourselves that grace. And for me, I say, you know what? I'm demanding something of them that I'm not demanding of myself. If it is the last and evil days, as the mothers used to say in the church for years and years and years, I really do think it might be the last and evil days now. What am I going to do different? And if I'm not doing anything different, then I'm part of the problem. So
that actually gives me hope. That's why, cause my grandmother was saying the same thing in the 80s. It's the last time. It's the worst I ever seen it. That damn Reagan, blah, So it's just like, I don't know if we just, going through what they went through and we made it through before. I don't know.
And let me just tell you, the only caution I would offer us, and you're right, we have always said that, and folks have always explained why it has been. We have gotten progressively worse. Over the last decade at least. And what I would say is, if we think that this isn't the worst it's been, can you tell me why our civil and human rights have been rolled back 60 plus years in a matter of 6 months? Right? Like that is, I know, and some people are like, well, I don't need civil rights. Just give me my paper, man, whatever. I don't know how you think you're going to keep your paper, man, and you don't have any protections. The ways in which we're watching human rights abuses come forth in this country vis-a-vis these deportation processes, ICE detention holding facilities where people don't even have deportation orders, and watching folks who look like us saying, I don't care, that's not my problem, until you didn't realize that your little cousin daddy was Haitian, until you didn't realize that your favorite Jamaican spot is about to close down. I keep trying not to do this in the terms of like what people are giving us, but just through our humanity. Like, you are going to be in a position really soon where somebody you did not know was that close to you is hit. And I don't understand why it even needs that. Like, what's just about our humanity? Forget what should be given to someone who is a citizen here. What about humanity? And that is the thing that is really troubling me.
How do you feel about Democrats who all of a sudden have the courage, and I put courage in parentheses, to tell the truth? Like when you see books like The Original Sin, or Karine Jean-Pierre saying she's a independent now. Like, why all of a sudden do they have the courage to speak truth to power, but they didn't do that 2-3 years ago?
I'm trying to figure out why you think it's all of a sudden. Like, I think
everybody.
everybody.
All of a sudden.
No,
on,
I
Angela,
think.
Right.
Okay, so do I have my own opinion?
Yes.
Thanks. So I just feel like if somebody.
Okay, let me ask you this question. What was the original? What was the original sin about by Jake Tapper? It literally was about the cover up that Democrats.
But I don't know if Jake Tapper identifies as a Democrat.
He's on CNN every day talking to the left
and talking to the right.
Okay.
I don't know if Jake Tapper is a Democrat, brother. I really don't.
So what do you think about them? Just all of a sudden having the courage.
I don't know that it's all of a sudden. I think they've been doing these, expose books for years. Jake's is the latest of those. I think that Karine had.
But why tell us after it's too late? Why didn't they say these things 2 years ago when they could have alerted the American people, and the American people could have been like, you know what, something is wrong with him. Maybe y'all should run a different candidate. Then probably we wouldn't be in this situation.
I don't know if I believe that. I think that the lie was sexier to people than the truth, and they went with the lie. And they knew
the lie?
Donald Trump. So the lie, Donald Trump on Epstein. Donald Trump on.
Hold on. So the lie wasn't Joe Biden is okay? Remember when Envy was up here saying that Joe Biden had dementia, and you and Tiffany got mad at him and was like, "Don't say that."
Well, and I told you guys why. I told you. I don't think it's funny. I told y'all why my grandmother literally was suffering from dementia, and he still doesn't have dementia. He does not have dementia.
I didn't say he had dementia. I said he's showing early signs of dementia.
According to the original sin that we don't know.
I said just like
according to my own eyes, we do know he does not have dementia.
Early signs of dementia. I said just like Gia's mom, because Gia's mom had dementia. I said he is showing early signs of dementia. Something ain't right.
You just knew something was wrong, and we knew he couldn't win in November.
All I'm telling you is I was personally offended because my grandmother had dementia. So y'all got on my nerves that day because of that. Now, as for what Karine is doing and Jake, invite them on the show and ask them. I don't know, but what I can tell you is Karine had her own experience of being regularly challenged, her brilliance being challenged by white men who she was supposed to be sharing space with.
She had to lie for that white man all the time.
I'm not talking about that, Leonard. I'm talking about staff people as well. And so when you are being challenged by your peers rather than covered because they don't want you in a role, that may jade you just a little bit. You might be a little frustrated by that. So, I mean, I get it. I feel like I've always been independent minded and voting down a Democratic ticket because that's where my values are more aligned. Are they perfectly aligned? No, that's never been the case. You ain't never seen me come up here talking about the Democratic Party is the only way. That's not it. But I'm saying I know what for sure is not the way. I know what for sure is a dead end, quite literally, is on the other side of the aisle.
So if we knew that, how come we didn't?
Who is we?
The people. Because clearly, it was like 70% of people felt like they didn't want a Biden-Trump rematch. 56% of Democrats said that Joe Biden should not be
I think we all agreed. I think we all agreed with that. He told us initially he was going to do one term, and that was the expectation that I think many of us had. So I never was like, oh, please run Joe Biden again. I think they're run the tape back. I'm on here saying that.
Let me ask you. I'm sorry. I just want to say one thing. Let me ask you a question. Right? You fought for Marilyn Mosby to get pardoned. Joe Biden didn't pardon him.
Mm-hmm.
He pardoned his whole family.
Pardoned his whole family.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Donald Trump pardons anybody that's cool with him all the time.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel? Did that make you feel like what Obama said, Democrats are cowards? Here's a lady that did nothing wrong, who does the right thing. You guys fought to get her pardon. You fought for the Democrats. You rode for Joe Biden. You rode for Kamala Harris.
This is very loosely fought for the Democrats and rode for Joe Biden.
You did. You wanted to get back in office.
I wanted Kamala Harris to be our president.
Before she was announced.
I was going to go with the nominee. But I think there's a difference in I am going to fight for my friend, my sister.
Pardon her.
And accept this man.
And then you see him pardon his whole family who he said he wasn't going to pardon.
Yeah.
You see Trump pardon everybody. First day out, he just came with a stage and pardoned everybody.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel about Democrats? Because it makes me feel like Democrats don't ride for their own.
Yeah,
but then you look at Trump. He rides for his core. He rides for his base. So it's like, damn.
Well, and I think that the challenge that I will offer us to consider, and I'll respond to the question, but I just want us to contextualize this. He is very crooked. He is violating the emoluments clause every single day. He is taking gifts from foreign governments to be persuaded, to be conflicted out of basic decisions. So I take issue with striving to be more like somebody who's very crooked, who had 88 indictments but was 91. They dropped a few. Right? I have issues with trying to be more like corruption. I don't want an elected official to be corrupt. I will say it pissed me off that Joe Biden and the team that was advising him would not stand for this black woman. I know of black people who worked in the White House counsel's office who were fighting for Marilyn, and they were not heard. So it was devastating. What I will say is very vindicating, though, for her at least, is in her appeals case that was just recently heard, her mortgage fraud conviction was overturned.
Yeah, I seen that.
But they held the perjury up, though,
which I think is bizarre, too, because I felt like the perjury was the weakest link.
Yeah.
But I will say it is so vindicating. She gets to keep the property that the black judge who was appointed by Joe Biden told her she could not have and needed to be forfeit. She doesn't have to give up her property, which I think is really important for her and her girls. So
I heard you mention the Epstein files earlier. Do you think like this can really, really hurt Trump? Because they don't really seem to care about it.
Yeah, I don't. He doesn't seem to care about much, doesn't he?
Nothing.
I would say that it could hurt him, especially if the fringe of his base, the folks who ascribe to all of the conspiracy theories, continue to write it out, and he doesn't respond in kind with actually unsealing the files or appointing a special prosecutor. I think it's bizarre that this man who he was friends with, at least for 2 decades, was on the private jet. Now he's not going to release the files. Well, what's in there? Donald Trump, why you don't want to share it?
Yeah. I feel like Democrats should never stop talking about the Epstein Files.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because I feel like this is their transgender in women's sports issue.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that they should talk about it because it also creates that same type of ambiguity, the cloud of corruption. He does what he wants to do whenever it's beneficial to him, and he doesn't really care about you. I think that is the most important thing they could say, because there are a lot of people who were Trump supporters who are poor, broke, busted, and disgusted, still down on their luck, still don't have anything to show for his election. So if you still don't have anything to show for it, but you see this man now has a multi-million-dollar jet, his family is doing really well, his cryptocurrency soared on the other side of the inauguration. What do you have to show for it? How did you benefit? Because if you don't have anything to show for it, well, what does your vote really do?
And it builds a bridge between Democrats and MAGA. Ever since Trump won, they've been trying to do that, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's Gavin Newsom with his corny ass podcast, right? But I'm just saying, like, they're always trying to, build a bridge with MAGA.
Gavin tapped right into his whiteness, didn't he? He tapped right into his whiteness.
In a very inauthentic way.
Yeah.
But, this is an actual authentic way.
Yeah.
Because this is something that...
It's the truth.
Yes.
Right. I think that there's nothing better than the truth. You always talk about how important it is to tell the truth. I think that too. So we shouldn't be pontificating on conspiracy theories. We should be asking real questions. We don't know what's in the files.
It's not a conspiracy theory anymore. It's a cover-up.
No. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We don't know what's in the files, but you do. So release them. Make sure we all know.
Do you think the files haven't been released because if they do, it would be mutually assured destruction? Meaning that, high-profile individuals from both parties are definitely probably in the files. Allies.
Definitely, probably.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Allies, donors.
Yeah, I really don't know what's in the files.
High-ranking diplomats.
I don't know what's in the files, and just based on what I just was saying, I don't want to deepen more into the conspiracy parts of it. What I would rather say is if your people ask for it, this is what you promise your people, make good on your promise. Be true to what you said on paper, man.
And if I'm a Democrat and I'm, constantly staying on the Epstein Files, even if I know that there are people from my party in there, they're probably people you need to throw under the bus anyway.
Yeah.
Because I feel like whoever is the future of the Democratic Party has to throw the old regime under the bus.
Especially if the old regime was engaging in child abuse.
Yes.
Right? I mean, there's no, that should be a bipartisan or really a nonpartisan thing. There are some things that we should not allow or hold to be acceptable. We shouldn't be covering up anything for anybody.
I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about folks who may have supported Trump having buyer's remorse now and speaking out against it? Like, is it the time to say, I told you so, or is it the time the coalition build?
Oh, you want my higher self answer?
I want you just to answer
it. Well, I have two answers. My first answer is something I should say on radio.
Uh-oh.
Forget y'all. I'll say it that way. Forget y'all. Like we tried to tell you over and over again, like you are so foul. My higher self answer is I think that people make mistakes, and some mistakes they make are extraordinarily costly. And so I would really want to understand how they got there and what do we do as a people to ensure that folks don't get there ever again.
You know how they got there, though.
No, I don't. Leonard, me and you disagree on this. I think there are multiple pathways to get to this dummy.
Well, I think for so long we've tried to tell people why they should care about politics or why they should vote a certain way, but we don't talk to them to see why they voted that way. For me, when Donald Trump won, it wasn't a surprise. We was together when he won. It wasn't a surprise because I've been having these conversations. I can see where Democrats were missing the mark and where he was speaking to dinner table issues. Now, whether he wanted to do those things or not.
Speaking to dinner table issues and knowing someone from their past 4 years in office is a liar and is not going to look out for the least of these.
Not when that last year, and we've had this conversation a million times, not when that last year, them PPP checks was flying and them stimulus checks was flying.
And now these PPP people's in jail.
But no, yeah, sure, but people will forget what you did. They'll forget what you said. They'll never forget how you made them feel.
Well, I wonder how they feel behind bars. Like I think
of them ain't behind bars. Some of them sitting in them trailers in South Carolina living the life. They still got that Chrysler 300.
Yes.
Okay, some of them living their best life right now. Still,
that's sad.
Waiting for another stimmy.
They are.
And you know what they do every now and then? When the Doge cuts was happening and everybody was getting mad, we're going to give everybody $5,000. Y'all just relax. Everybody was like, yeah, that's what we voted for.
And then where is that $5,000 now?
I didn't say it's coming.
I guess all I'm saying is, at some point, people have to understand how the government works. Donald Trump didn't write a blank check. He did sign the check.
Smart.
I agree. It was smart. But in all of that, what I hope his supporters and even people who are like indifferent, I hope what they see over time is this man will do anything to promote himself. And that is all that he's good at. He's not good at keeping his promises. He's not good at telling the truth. He's not good at people first policy. He's good at promoting himself. That's it.
Well, that's why the Epstein list is good and why Democrats should stay on it, because this is the one time I've seen people who voted for Trump and the MAGA base be like, Yo, they lying to us.
Yeah.
So not only is he lying about this, look what
Let me
else
show
he's
you
lying
all
about.
the other things. I think that's
Absolutely.
right. Well,
Absolutely.
go be a consultant. You good at this. That's good.
I wanted to ask about what was your thoughts on everything that happened with the Essence Festival, right?
She was there.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, okay.
Late
So a lot of
Night
people
Podcast
were
was there.
upset that that Target was still a sponsor and people were boycotting. What was your thoughts on all that?
I still say boycott Target. Number one, it's Target fast. If I see black people with a Target bag, Jess, I'm mugging y'all.
All right, yeah, Loren got one. She got her makeup in one right now.
She
yeah.
did?
I thought you told me you got that suit you got on from Target.
You know I didn't get this
He's
from Target.
such a clown.
You know I didn't get this from Target. I would tell you if I did. I did support when my girl Kalana was in there, but I'm telling you right now, they better get it together. I think that this is a really dope opportunity for black people to show we don't just support black business in a boycott. We do that because it's the right thing, and our stuff is better anyway. So yes, I'm irritated that they were a sponsor, but it's a multi-year deal, so I understand that. I thought it was hilarious that they tried to make their activation pink, so people didn't know that it was like it was red and white Target. It was like, if we really in red and white, it's pink. Let's make it pink. People couldn't see the logo until they walked all the way in. I want to shout out Alfonso David, who's become a brother to me, from Global Black Economic Forum. He did a tremendous job on his stage. There were a lot of really good things about Essence Fest. And the videos that I was seeing, I was telling Lenard, I was like, I didn't see any of this stuff the way that they're portraying it. So I'm just not sure. I will say I did not go to any of the concerts. So I don't know what that experience was like. I wanted to go, and my day that I could go, I just was not feeling well. So
is it worth it taking the money to create Black joy? Because that's where we are right now, right? Like we're in a space right now where we need to empower each other in various ways.
Yeah.
And creating spaces of Black joy is one of those things.
Yeah.
So taking that money to create Black joy, what do you think?
I think I'm not. I want us to divorce ourselves from Target until they meet the demands that Jamal and Tamika and Nina have been very clear about. The demands are great, including standing up opportunities for HBCU students at business schools at HBC. There's you have retail shops at TWIs, the traditionally white institutions. You can do that same thing at HBCUs. You can appoint another Black board member. You can have a Black CEO. Your CEO about to step down. You can put Black people in position to succeed as contractors, as vendors, and as employees at Target. So I don't understand what the issue is. If they can't meet those most basic needs, they don't need our money. But
do we need their money, though, is what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying. I think that there still have to be parameters. If you look historically at some of the nation's civil rights orgs, some of our other folks there are influencers who y'all know who take money from some of these large corporations to distract us from our demands of these corporations regularly. I would name drop, but I'm going to be nice.
I think you should.
No, I won't. But I think that what's important is that we are all aligned. So if we're going to take the money, we know that these are the accountability metrics. You don't get a blanket endorsement from us. We're saying, here's this partnership, but we're not doing it anymore. Right now, some of our Black denominations in the churches have taken money, but they know that they see a pastor leading this charge. Don't do that. It undermines us. That is literally how Black people got in slavery. Oh, I'm going to take this $5 from my family, but I'm going to send y'all over there. Don't do that. That is so harmful.
One thing people say, and we've had this conversation with Jamal and Tamika as well. What about all the other companies who rolled back DEI initiatives?
Yeah.
The Metas. We on Facebook and we on Instagram every day. The Walmarts, the Amazons. You getting the Amazon packages every day.
A lot of churches are boycotting Amazon too. A lot of entities a lot of entities are boycotting Amazon.
I don't believe
too.
them. I got to go to their house and see if they got packages on their page.
I'm sure they got zillions of
Yeah,
packages.
I want to say I have cut way back. All I have is my Just Water on an automatic subscription, but I have cut way back. I did have an Amazon problem. I have since been delivered.
Like everyday ordering. Like that's how I was too.
Yes.
But what do you say to those people who feel like, well, y'all ain't boycotting nothing else?
You know what? I feel like it's hard to boycott everything at once, especially if you live in communities where there are not that many options to shop and all that. It's hard. So I think to make an example out of one so that other organizations, other corporations fall in line is also a smart tactic. I think Target was personal for us. Like, I don't know about you, Jess, but I would just be up and down the aisles. Like, I would go in, I almost said Starbucks, in Target for one thing and leave with a cart full of $500 worth of stuff I did not need. Yep. So I think that it was personal. It's like, you mess with our sanctuary? Like, why?
That's how I felt about Walmart. I used to go to Target for T-shirts, but Walmart was where growing up in Moss Corner, that was the place that was open 24 hours.
Yeah.
When we were kids, we would go wander around Walmart.
That's both of them for me, Walmart and Target.
Yeah.
Target they had better selections and stuff. You felt a little bougie when you was in there. Yeah. That was the thing.
And also sometimes you go around there and you just wander because you high. Were you high?
No. Or is he trying to say me, a clown? What advice?
You know what I will say? I am grateful for what Cannabis is doing for my mother right now. She's going through chemo, and my dad has been very eager to make sure that she had an edible. Now, the first edible that my mom had was not for her because she was sitting on the floor facing a wall and the TV was behind her. I said, "What you doing, Lord?"
Damn, tell Eddie I need some of those. I need that brand. That's exactly how I like to feel.
She has one that has been recommended by the nutritionist now, and she's doing much better. So her appetite is good, and I'm so proud of my mama.
Expound on that because your mom is dealing with cancer.
Yes.
And so the nutritionist recommended her edible for what exactly?
So I think I don't remember if it's 1-to-1 or something, CBD and THC.
Yeah, it's CBN and THC, yes, to help with, yeah.
Okay, so she's on that, and it's helping her to eat a lot better. The other one just had my mom jacked up.
Like zooted.
She was gone. I was like, "Mom, what you doing?" She's like, "Sitting here." I said, "I see that. Did you like to get up?"
Did you ask your mom which one she liked better? She might like that other one better.
No. But if she's not eating because like she's literally like, I can't even move. Yeah, no.
I got you.
What if she was enjoying what she was seeing on the wall?
That's what I'm saying.
But if she's enjoying what she's seeing on the wall, but she's still 20 pounds lighter and she's already tiny. I need her to get her to eat. Yeah, not to get her stuck looking at the wall.
Gotcha.
What advice, this is my last question. What advice do you have for people listening who just like don't even care about, they've given up all hope for like the government. They don't have any faith like anymore in it. What would you say to them?
What I would say is I know this is a government that was built on our backs and never for us. And I think that it's important to decide whether you will reform it and shift what it was designed to do or whether you will overhaul it and do something different, regardless of what decision you make. It's just most important to engage, that we advocate for our collective best interests, that we show up to ensure that our voices are heard, that we're seen, that our people can't be ignored. And I think some of the best ways we can do that right now is just showing up together collectively and making a difference for ourselves. I think we could still build structures outside of the government that serve our most basic needs. But I absolutely suggest that if you are a tax-paying citizen, you have every right to demand something better of this government, and it owes us. For sure.
I got a couple more questions. Do you think traditional media, because you're having great success with the Native Land podcast, yourself, Andrew Gillum, and Tiffany Cross, do you think traditional media still plays a role in shaping, not just black political opinion, but political opinion overall, or have we fully moved into an era where non-traditional media is controlling all the narratives?
I think that they have a role and they have an obligation, and for the most part, traditional media is epically failing. Like there's an epic fail. Like the fact that the fines that they're paying to settle cases with Donald Trump, the ways in which they're talking about some of the greatest crises right now is insane to me. I'm like, are we living in the same universe? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you hearing what these members of Congress are reporting back from visits or state elected officials? We're living in really rough times, and for them to not be talking about it, or for me, I was upset when they were spending just as much time on Puff's trial as they were on the budget cuts. It was irresponsible. So, I think there is a huge obligation on behalf of media, and yet I feel like they're failing. So because they're failing, new media has opportunities to tell the truth and to make sure that people know that they exist and folks aren't crazy sitting at home.
Is that why you focus more on, I don't even like to call it non-traditional media no more, because I feel like that is media nowadays, but is that why you focus on, like, I'm going to do the State of the People Marathon on YouTube, or I'm going to do Native Land, podcasts on YouTube and, wherever podcasts are distributed? Is that why? Because it's not like you can't go on television when you want to.
Yeah, I think for me, I'll say the last TV interview I did reminded me of what I did not miss about
when
TV.
When Kevin O'Leary touched you?
Yeah, but I think it's more.
Somebody touched you?
It's just I'm a germaphobe, and I think some, especially white men, no disrespect, Nick, don't wash their hands.
He's Italian.
He said he washed his hands too. He was like, first of all, you're not gonna defame me while I'm holding this camera. I didn't say you, Nick. I did not say you, Nick. I know you wash your hands.
She said that camera dirty as hell because of your hands.
Nick's hands look clean, but I'm just saying it's a lot of people. You can tell even how they move about the world. They don't wash their hands. So I'm like, why did he touch me? So I'm a germaphobe, and it was like not even thought of. But I think that what it
kind of was a shushing too. Like it was.
Yeah.
I think sometimes they do that on TV. It's to minimize you in a way.
Yeah. No, he wasn't about to do that. But I just think that.
Did you have a conversation after that? Oh no.
No. Oh. About what?
Nah, because you were just like, yo, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't put your
hand on me. You don't know this hood chick.
That's what I'm asking. If he came back and said, I apologize. I'm just curious.
No. But I think that he's so cocky that he wouldn't. But my point in bringing that up is I think it reminded me of how unproductive those conversations are. I'm going on to argue with you. You got the people who are backing you in your corner. I got the people backing me in my corner. And there's a very small convincible middle. And I just think, if we're not having conversations to really get to yes and be like, well, I can understand your perspective. What is it that you're saying? Like, people should have to be held to facts, right? People go on there and just lie. They'll make up numbers. It's like, what's the point of this? This is reality TV. This isn't the news.
But that's why people like you need to be there, though. And I think it takes a very special person to occupy that space. And you've always been a very special person in that space. That's why you stand out.
Thanks, brother. Well, I like doing the podcast, and Save the People wasn't just about content development. It also was really about touching lives. So, yeah.
Do you really feel like Republicans cheated in 2024? You was all over Fox News this week.
Yeah, Fox News really like our podcast. That is so nice. They should put the link in there so people could watch that, tune into them.
I know that's right.
I would just say I am very, I feel like Black women and the Holy Ghost are very close. And I feel like if something about my spidey senses are tingling, and they have been since the day after the election when we were all together, I don't know. Something is not right. There's the Elections Truth Alliance, I believe, ETA, has a whole report on some of the inconsistencies in election results. There is another entity that I can't think of right now that also has a report on this. Clark County had some irregularities in Nevada. So, I have questions. And then why did Donald Trump say in January that Elon Musk knew how to work the local machines in Pennsylvania better than anybody, and that's why he won by a landslide? Who says that? If it's just, and maybe you guys could say he has dementia too. I hope you don't, without any, proof. But I think that, he says some things that are jarring, especially about how he won the election. We got some surprises for you, I think they said too. So yeah, I'm not sure, but I definitely don't feel good about it. It would make me feel better knowing that he stole it rather than this many people would vote for this man.
Nah, not really. Because, we knew Biden had a record low approval rating. And, the VP, her approval rating was just as unpopular. And they gave her 100 days. And she did a great job in that, 107 days? She did a great job in 106 days just putting some energy into the campaign.
But I don't just think she put energy into the campaign. She also did some things structurally that were very, very helpful. I think people got to see another side of Kamala Harris, and I still think that it was hard to break through. They wasted a lot of money on things that weren't going to help her candidacy, but made the consultants who worked for her campaign rich.
And she did drop the ball in very key moments, like on The View when she said she wouldn't do anything different from President Biden.
I think
when he had a record low approval rating, people wanted something different, and you just didn't offer anything.
Let me just say this. I hear your point, and I also think that there are moments where your loyalty to somebody supersedes what you think will help you stand out. And I can say firsthand, I know I'm a person like that, where I will be blindly loyal to the people I love, and it will cause me harm. It has, So I get why she did that. I do think it was a moment that she probably regrets, but I understand why she did it. She wouldn't be there if it weren't for him, right? Like, he picked her as his VP. We all believe she deserved it, but he did pick her. There were other options. And then when he stepped down, it was Joe Biden that made sure that Kamala Harris, because she was a part of the ticket, was the nominee. And I think that that's major. It's hard to turn your back on somebody that does something like that. I get that.
Well, I think what I hope everybody learns moving forward is America wants something different. When you look at the low approval ratings of Trump, when you look at the low approval ratings of Republicans, you look at the low approval ratings of Democrats, America is ready for something
America getting
different.
something different right now. I wonder how much they like this difference.
Yeah, but
we back in 18. What year you think we in right now?
We in 2025.
Nah.
But we in 2025. I'm just saying it's good.
We done went back.
All of this needs to be destroyed. So what what can really be can be
Who
built.
do you think is going to be on the receiving end of the destruction, though? I think that's the
A lot
part.
of people.
No, but it's going to be mostly people who look like us. Like, that's the part that I think that we have to grapple with. It is so easy to say, and very privileged to say, we need to destroy this whole thing, tear it all down. So now they're defunding the Department of Education, or at least have the clearance to do that. That's going to hurt our kids.
Yeah,
first and hardest.
I know we like to say that. And
it's true.
And I don't disagree. I think it's just going to hurt poor people.
But Leonard, we're disproportionately poor. We're disproportionately not paid what we deserve, what we should earn. Our businesses disproportionately suffer.
Yes.
Our access to contracts at the local, state, and federal level is disproportionately low. It is going to be us on the receiving end of these things.
But I think this is the time where we need to look at what Martin Luther King Jr. was attempting to do before he was taken out, probably what he was taken out for,
Operation
which is bringing
Breadbasket.
together poor and disenfranchised people of all colors, because we need that whole coalition right now to topple what's currently in our federal government.
Yeah, I think
Black
that's
people
true.
cannot do it alone.
I agree with that. We don't have the numbers,
No.
but I would say this. I am focused on Black folks right now because I believe that we have to get our house in order first, and then we can coalition build. I think normally what we've done historically is we go out to the larger coalition before we're tight. I want to make sure that we're tight. Are we all aligned? Are we all good? Are we moving forward, meeting our basic needs, advocating for what's in our best interest, and then we grow out? That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be humane in your approach. Like, you can still fight for other people's issues, but make sure your coalition is tight.
This is what we always argue, because it ain't going to happen. Everybody ain't going to get on the same page. I
don't think that everybody has to, but I need a larger group of us to.
That's why Noah just took animals on the ark, because he knew that them niggas wasn't coming.
All right. To Angela Ryan, we thank you for joining us so much.
Let me just get the giraffes then.
That's crazy.
All giraffes will.
See?
All right. Well, it's Angela Rye.
Hold on. Tell them where to follow you, Angela Rye.
At Angela Rye on Instagram, that Leonard said we are now boycotting.
I'm not.
I'm not. At Native Land Pod.
Make sure you subscribe to Native Land Podcast.
Yes. We
Reason
drop
Choice
every
Media.
Thursday.
All right. Well, it's Angela Rye. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Breakfast Club.